Hello, everyone. You are welcome to the second edition of Know What You Eat. I'm sure you enjoyed the first edition. In case you missed it, it is not something you should miss. Just check on my channel and watch it. I promise that I'm going to link that video to this one. It's not something you should miss. Know your afang soup. Now, on this second edition, we'll be talking about know your Edikang Ikong soup. Now, Edikang Ikong soup is one of those soups that it doesn't have any rival. It no competitor at all. If there is any soup anybody of any age needs to eat on daily basis, I would recommend Edikang Ikong soup. Now, by the time we delve into the nutritional value, you will understand what I just said. Now, this video is going to be divided into three parts, right? Now, the whole everything that we're going to do here, number one thing is the origin of the leaves, the two leaves. We'll discuss the two leaves, the fluted pumpkin leaves and the water leaves. Those are the two major leaves that are used to prepare Edikang Ikong soup. We'll talk about the things needed to prepare. We'll talk about the proportion. Now, this is where a lot of people miss it. Please do not be like those people that miss it. Even if you have been missing it before, don't miss it after listening to this video. So that's why you should watch the part 1, the 2, and the third part of this video. Now, I'm going to drop these 3 videos between now and the next 4 days, so look out for it. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, what are you waiting for? Do that right now, and then like this video, leave a comment, and please turn on your notification bell, so whenever I bring up these videos, you will be notified. It is not something that you want to miss, and you may also want to share it with your friends and family, people you love, right? Because you don't want them to miss this. All right, thank you so much for doing that. Somebody's sharing it already. Thank you. All right, so in this first part of Know Your Edikang Ikong soup, we'll be discussing the origin of the soup, right? And we'll be discussing the two leaves, like I mentioned. We'll be discussing the things that are needed to prepare the Edikang Ikong soup. We'll be discussing things that are optional, and we'll also be discussing the portioning of the Edikang Ikong soup in this particular segment, right? And then in the other segment, we'll bring in the remaining things. In the second part, we'll bring in the nutritional value, we'll bring in the recommendations, and then the third part is going to be the practical of how to prepare the Edikang Ikong soup. Where you, by the time you watch these 3 parts, you can't miss it. You can't, you take your Edikang Ikong soup game from 0 to 100, and you will thank me later. I know that you come back for your testimony. Write in the comment. Do not forget to leave comment. All right, thank you for following through. So let's talk about the origin of Edikang Ikong soup. Most Nigerians already know that Edikang Ikong soup originated from the Efik people. That includes the Cross Riverians and the Akwa Ibomites in the southern part of Nigeria. Now, at the moment, the soup is already accepted globally. The soup already makes it to big events. I'm a caterer, so I know when people, when clients come, most of them, the first soup on their list that they want for their big events is Edikang Ikong soup, right? Some people just call it vegetable soup. They need vegetable soup, you know. So it is something that everybody needs. It's already a soup that is for the very important people and very important occasions because of its nutritional value. I know that people already know it, but later in this video we will look into the nitty-gritties, everything that this soup is composed of. So, talking about the 2 major leaves that are used to prepare Edikang Ikong soup. Number 1, like already mentioned, is the fluted pumpkin leaves. It is known in Igbo as ugu leaves, but in Akwa Ibom Cross River, it is known as Ikong Ubong. And now the botanical name is Telfaria occidentalis. And now going to the water leaves, It is known in Akwa Ibom Cross River as Ikong, and the botanical name is Talinum triangulare. All right, so we want to go into the things that are needed to prepare Edikang Ikong soup. First on the list is the fluted pumpkin leaves, and of course seconded by the water leaves. You'll need any protein of your choice. I recommend goat meat, but if you don't eat goat meat, you can go for beef. And if you don't do red meat, you can maybe fish or maybe chicken. But if you ask me, I may not recommend chicken for soups, but maybe you can manage it for things like vegetable soup and okra soup. Yeah, you can manage. That is if you you don't have access to red meat, or if you do not eat red meat. Okay, and then you will need the intestines, like cow tribe, like the cow tribe is otherwise called shaki, or maybe the roundabout, and then the the pomo, otherwise called the cow skin, and you will need stockfish. You will need dried fish, a good dried fish, please, and you will need crayfish. You will need pepper. You will need onion. You will need seasoning, but not too much of it. You will see that when we go into the practicals. And you will need salt, and you will need palm oil. All right, so you will need periwinkles, okay, which is completely optional. You may decide not to use that. Now, of the things I mentioned, what are the things that you can do without? The things that are optional. Number one on my list for me is the stockfish. You can make a very delicious Edikang Ikong soup without using stockfish, right? Yes. And then you can skip the periwinkles if you don't like them. And if I have to recommend periwinkle for Edikang Ikong soup, that would be the deshelled periwinkles, all right? The ones that is picked up from the shell. But some people choose to use the shelled ones. That's okay, completely okay. Then another thing that could be optional, we have the stockfish and the periwinkles for things that are optional. Another thing that might be optional is the cow tribe. You can decide not to use the intestines. The most important thing is that you have your dried fish, you have your beef, and you have your crayfish, and any other thing is any other meat is optional. All right. Now, this is when you should subscribe if you are yet to do so, because this one that I'm going to talk about is a life changer. Please like the video. Do not forget to leave a comment. Do not forget to turn on your notification bell after you've subscribed. Thank you for doing that. And then, of course, please share the video. So let me talk about the portioning of the water leaves to the fluted pumpkin leaves. I'm going to show you practically in the part 3. Okay, this is just part 1, but for now, know that the percentage is 60% of water leaves to 40% of fluted pumpkin leaves. Now somebody is asking, is the pumpkin leaves not supposed to be more than the water leaf? No. If the pumpkin leaf is more than the water leaf, it will make the soup dry. It won't have that good consistency. It will have, I don't know how to explain it, but I believe is best explained practically. All right. So you will not have that's just going to be vegetable soup and not Edikang Ikong soup. All right. Some people actually prepare vegetable soup thinking is Edikang Ikong. There's a difference between Edikang Ikong soup and vegetable soup. If it is not Edikang Ikong, then it is not Edikang Ikong. It's definitely vegetable soup, right? But if you want to prepare Edikang Ikong soup, 60% of water leaves to 40% of floated pumpkin leaves after it is being cut, okay? Now, how do you know the bunch size to buy in the market? You see it in the practical aspect. I'll take time to explain that in the practical aspect. Okay, so that is that for part 1 of Know Your Edikang Ikong. So please watch out for part 2, watch out for part 3. Like I said earlier, part 2 will be talking about the nutritional composition of both leaves is not something that you want to miss. And we'll delve into the recommendations, who should eat or who shouldn't eat, and all. And then in the part 3 is the practical. You don't want to miss any of these segments. So see you in the second part of Know Your Edikang Ikong Soup. Thank you so much for staying through. And if you watch this video to this very end, please leave 100 in the comments. Leave 100 in the comments. Thank you so much, and see you in the very next video that is coming out in a few hours or days. Thank you. Bye for now.